right, I have our read for the day. So, bottom of the deck energy is the star. Rejuvenation. Okay, so somebody needs to rejuvenation. It's like you need rejuvenation, but not rejuvenation. More like you need to like save up some of your energy. Probably just maybe you're tired. That happens. We're all human. Sometimes we push a little bit too hard. Sometimes we have to push hard and we don't really have a choice, and that is why we're tired. But the Morrigan is just saying, relax. Save up some of that energy. Right now there's prosperity on the table, even though right now you are financial instability. So you're struggling right now, but breaking taboo, you are going to be doing something that people think is a little bit different. Breaking, it isn't something that people would consider like a normal job. It's out of the box. You're sharing knowledge, so you're learning what you have learned or what you are learning. This is information that you're going to be sharing. And you're in you're going through a growth process. You're like going through some sort of an awakening. Going through new ideas. So for some of you, it's not going to be for everyone. Expansion, like you're going through some sort of an awakening. So I do have on all of my platforms, I do have people who watch who are gifted. So you might actually be going through some sort of awakening, because it's not just when you have gifts, when you are intuitive, you don't just go through one awakening and then you're done. It's a continued process of growth and learning, and that's, for some of you at least, that's at least what it is. But that isn't what it has to be. So take it how it fits, but don't try and force it to fit, right? So you're sharing knowledge. So you've learned something and you're sharing your knowledge with others. Expansion, you're growing. You're coming up with new ideas. So maybe this is breaking taboo. So it's something different. You do things a little bit more different, and you're going to be receiving clarity on what steps you should be taking next. And that's why the Morgan is like, it's fine. This is going to be fine. We got the 9 of Swords in reverse underneath that. And then the Knight of Wands underneath that. All right. Sorry, I had to pause you. Oh, look at who we had hiding underneath. All right, so we had the High Priestess. So somebody who's intuitive, somebody who's going through, like I mentioned before, it's like you're going through an awakening period. Take it for how it is. You can be intuitive, you can be spiritual, but that doesn't mean that you have to be going through an awakening. But I do feel this is more geared towards somebody who's going through an awakening. They're breaking taboo. It's like you're it's like you feel burnt out, you're kind of tired, but then there's movement towards company dissolution. So, like, but then there's victory. So, for someone, collective read, so multiple energies. So for somebody, you're really, really tired. There's a lot of financial instability that's happening. You are feeling tired. You're feeling burnt out because you're going through an awakening, and that's actually really very normal. You just need to make sure that you take care of yourself and treat yourself a little bit more kindly when you're going through an awakening. Because you are tired. You still have things, I mean, you still have life to live, right? So you still have things that you need to do. But treat yourself with kindness. There's movement towards some sort of company dissolution. So, but, and then there, and then there's going to be victory. So there's going to be company dissolute. Like, it's like you are either not going to be working at a place, or they're potentially going under, and then there's going to be victory. Oh, look at spirituality. Yeah, so somebody is just going through an awakening and they're just really tired. They feel burnt out. They're reaching a turning point, though, so that they can reach clarity. They feel kind of stuck right now. You feel kind of stuck because, and you don't really know what's going to be happening, and then you are worried about your stability. But the Morgan is just saying, stay open-minded. This is going to be fine. You do have the strength to be able to continue on the road that you're continuing on. And it is something that's going to bring you a lot of joy, and it's going to that keeps coming up. Influencer has popped up on a couple of the cards. That is, for me, that tends to be somebody, you don't necessarily have to have a platform, although you could, but you are sharing your knowledge, you are helping people grow. A lot of times influencer stands for like somebody who, with increased intuition, somebody who reads cards, like this. Like I said, sometimes you don't have to be on a platform, but you absolutely can. Somebody was just talking to themselves and asked a question. The answer to that is no. Right now you are being encouraged to guard your resources. You are, because you really don't know what's going to happen. But you're going to want to pause, and you're going to want to rest, because like I said, you're going through that awakening, and that's going to allow you to, you're going to be able to use your intuition even better, even more greatly. You're going to have an even greater increased intuition. How about that? How about we word it that way? But you have to go through this transformation again. Oh, look, influencer again, so that you can continue on your path. It's breaking taboo. You're going to be doing something different with your time. It's just you. It is going to take new action, but I don't think it's that action is there yet. I don't think it's something. I don't think that's something that it's time to yet. Communicator, you are going to be a master communicator. That's what you're going to do. breaking taboo, your communication, you're just going to be doing it in a different way. And it is going to be something that's successful. Success again, power again. You're coming into your power, and it's going to be something that makes you happy, and it's going to increase your money, and it's something that you should absolutely feel accomplished at, or because you put in the work. You know, when you do stuff like this, if you have increased intuition, people don't realize. I think sometimes people just go, oh, they're looking at cards and they've memorized bits and pieces of cards and what they mean, and that isn't really the case at all. That's part of it. That's some of it. You do memorize specific meanings, but that's not all there is to it. There's intuition. Like sometimes you get a feeling from a card, or you feel a thought, or you hear a thought, or you see a thought, because you're working with energy. You're working with the other side of the veil. They're sending you messages and gifts and knowledge to be able to share with others, and that is not as easy as what people think. You don't just stick a scarf on your head and and spin a tail. there's work into it, and this is a lifelong thing. This is a thing that you learn and you grow and you practice at all the time. You know what? I'm actually going to show you. This is YouTube, so it can be a little bit longer. All right, I'm going to show you a game that I play, and I am exhausted today, so whether I don't know how it'll turn out. Sometimes I'm better at it than others. But this is a game on how to increase your intuition. So if you noticed, I did not look at this card. I pulled it from a random spot in the middle of the deck, right? And so then you sit there and you keep your eyes closed. And I'm going to do it a little bit quicker, just because we are on video and I'm sure you guys have better things to do with your time. So you sit there and you kind of guess what this is. Wands is something that keeps popping out to my mind. Obviously crows, because this is a crow deck, but there's gonna be blue. I think there's gonna be blue. And I could be right, I could be wrong. This could be cups, or it could be cups and it could have like fruit in it. You never know. So you go and you look it over and you go, okay, so I have this right. There's a lot of blue. I wasn't right with the wands. This is actually swords. Obviously, there's crows. So you can go, and you don't have to use it with this. You know, you don't have to use it with tarot cards. You can do anything. You can shake up some dice and cover it with your hand and guess what it is and guess what you feel. You can pull a bicycle deck card and say, gosh, I want to say diamonds, but I know diamonds isn't going to be right. What are those? Spades? Maybe spades? Oh, look, spades. So then you go, so, you know, one part of my brain is saying diamonds, right? And that's the conscious part of my mind. But when you are working on building your intuition, you have to learn to hear the words that are being sent to you energetically. And some people actually hear it, but some people, like, I feel the words. But unfortunately for me, the feeling of the words is very similar to the way that I talk, the way that it feels when I say something to myself in my head. So, you know, so you can actually play these games and work on increasing your intuition if this is something that somebody is doing, if this is something that you're working towards. I highly suggest it. This is not something I thought of myself. There is actually, there's a reader who pops up on my feed on Facebook. I don't remember her name. I think it's Bree, but she calls herself Breezy, and she actually did this. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know why I never thought of doing anything like that, because that's amazing. That's pause and rest. You're tired. Emperor. Wands or movement. And I was like, that's such a great idea. And so that is something that I did, and that is something that I tried, and it helps. It helps with your growth. It helps you feel It can help you feel centered. It can help you feel more grounded because you're concentrating on something positive. You are concentrating. It's kind of like a meditation, right? Um, and sometimes you get it right, and sometimes you get it totally wrong. With this card, I had the blue right. I saw the blue. I saw white too, but I thought I was probably going crazy. And then I thought I saw this shape up like this, but I thought it was a wand. So that's what you do. Um, I hope that helps. That and I hope just hang in there and know that when you're growing your skills, it's a process. It's not instantaneous, but it is something that can be very beautiful, can be very satisfying. Just hang in there. And I promise after you rest and you recover a little bit, you will feel much, much better. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I hope you make good choices, and I will talk to you later. Bye.